Phoenix Business Exchange, Bell's Corners edition, and it is February 5th, beginning of February. And if you're in Ottawa, it's mild. Yeah, welcome to the sunny, at least it's sunny. That's the good stuff. If you want to find out more about Phoenix, I'm going to share a screen quickly just to go over the website. And oops, don't want that. I do want that. Sorry, you got to pick the right things. It said I wanted to share my iPad, and I'm not hooked up. So you should see the Phoenix website presenting. And to get to that site, it's www.pbex.ca, pbex.ca. And so I'm just going to scroll down, and it'll show us the contents of that page. Member of the week is Catherine or Cat Hurd. So she is actually a new member. She's out of the UK, so she does social media content and helps boost your presence. If you're looking to join us today or any of the future meetings, you'll see these red tabs right here, Monday morning, Wednesday, Thursday. Click on them. They'll take you right through the Zoom. There's no special dance you got to do to get past it. But if you're available tomorrow at 7 p.m., we have an after hours group that's open to anybody from Phoenix. It's at 7 p.m. So where are we at with numbers? Well, referral wise, you'll see that we've had close to $7,000 worth of business conducted between members year to date. So since January 1. So traction is starting to build up. And we've had over $4.5 million worth of transactions happening since opening of 2016. Referrals. So we refer people that we cross paths with, and we've done 42 of them year to date. And also year to date, 59 BAMs. What's a BAM? It's a business activity meeting, a one-on-one meeting with folks. And we get to know our fellow members inside the Phoenix space. What a great way to promote who and what you know to other people that might have the need. So if you need a dash cam, we know that Sam's here. If you had an IT tech problem, well, we just can't imagine who to pick. Josh. And then, if in electrical, we have Alex. And then, you got a house to go, Alana. And of course, Shane will help stretch your joints and your back out right and get you all fixed up. And Tony will just make you feng shui. So other things you'll see on the event registration, we have Hatha Yoga, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Mix and mingle at the 21 Synergy, Century 21 Synergy for February 20th at 6:30 p.m. We got Penny Lee helping you to shake your backside a little bit here and actually stretch those muscles. So if you've been sitting for a while, that's a good thing. And then Tony has a session on 1:30 on Friday afternoons at 1:30 for you all to attend. QR directory, you want to know who's inside the space and how to make a quick and easy connection. There's the directory for Phoenix members and top books to read. I'm going to stop sharing now. And we're going to swing over and we're going to get some tech advice from an expert. His name is Josh Lamb. Josh, over to you, sir.
Hey, folks. I'm Josh. My company is Sterling Grace Tech. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about email deliverability. So email is one of those things that is essential to all of our businesses. And, if you're not able to send, you might as well not be in business. Your customers certainly expect you to be able to get an email through to them and to get their emails. And so I'm going to be talking about your emails and why they might be bouncing, as well as some things to consider in the coming year, because there are some technology changes that are happening. So when we are talking about email deliverability, what we're really talking about is how likely it is for the receiving person's mail server to say, nope, I'm not taking your mail. And there are a couple different technologies that are part of that process. There are three kind of core ones that every domain should have set up. So the first one is called Sender Policy Framework. And basically this is a white list of all the different servers on the internet that are allowed to send mail on your behalf. So if you've signed up for some third-party service that's going to send mail for you, but you haven't figured out how to make those SPF, Sender Policy Framework changes, chances are that the recipients of your emails, your intended recipients, are going to bounce your mail because your new service is not going to be on that whitelist. An example of this is we have a country club customer who uses a service called Clubster to send mass mail. And when they signed up with Clubster, Clubster didn't explain to them how they needed to set up SPF policies. And so mass mails would go out to their membership, and about 50% of them would be bounced, and they wouldn't understand why. And so this is one simple thing that can kind of fix that level of deliverability. The next one is domain keys. So this is something that we call DKIM in the industry. You might have heard tech nerds refer to DKIM if you've ever heard of this at all, but it is a little obscure, so maybe you haven't. Basically, your server is using a encryption to create a special key that goes out with your mail that uniquely identifies it as coming from a legitimate source. And then the receiver looks at your domain and they're able to tell that this is legitimate based on something that you've published publicly to verify it. And so this is a technology that's really, it's even better than SPF because it implies that you have some kind of encryption key that only the valid domain holder could have. The third one is called DMARC, and that's basically just a tool that tells Google or Microsoft, hey, when I get a illegitimate email from the pbex domain, when somebody pbex.ca is sending me garbage and I don't validate it because it either failed on the sender policy or it failed those domain keys, send it back to Tony and say, who's the person who or a server who sent this, so that Tony can then go and complain and make them stop sending that spam. So this is a lot of tech talk, and it might be a little bit too much for most people who just want to do their job. So you need to get a great IT support person into your digital Rolodex. And the kind of take home of this is that Google and Microsoft are both two organizations that both heavily use these technologies. They also heavily require anything that's sent to them to use these technologies. And so if you don't have them, they're actually strict enough that this year around April, Google is going to implement a strict policy where if you don't have all three of these in place, they won't accept any of your mail, period. And so this is something that you should be checking with your IT specialist. And so, yeah, that's kind of the core of mail deliverability. So if you want to chat more about email deliverability, give me a call.
Josh, thank you so much. That was informative. And if your emails are bouncing, Josh is your man to help you get bouncing back into position. We're going to go around, do our introductions. And in the introductions, what do you do? Tell us what connections you had in the last week or so, any referrals, any business activity meetings, BAMs, and anything new that you want to relate. And we will start off with Alex and then go to Shane. Alex, over to you, sir.
Thanks, Bernie. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Alex from Evolta Electric. We are Ottawa's low-carbon electrical contractor. And what that means is we focus on projects where we help people reduce their carbon footprints. And we do that through the supply and installation of EV charging solutions, energy storage systems, building automation. A big one for us is LED lighting and, of course, general electrical work. So if you need any electrical work done, commercially, residentially, please give us a call. I'll put our details in the chat. In terms of what I've been up to over the past week since our last meeting, I placed an order with EMA for some printing to get that sorted for me. Placed an order with Dave for some salmon. He's going to let me know how much that was shortly. Off to the EV conference in Toronto this week. And a big thing for us at the moment is we're looking for a new electrician, to hire an electrician, and we're offering $1,000 for anyone that can refer an electrician to us that we hire. So if you know of anybody, an electrician looking for a job, there's $1,000 on the table. And we continue to work with AirZone and streamline our working systems with those guys to provide more quotes for their electrical projects. So Alex from Evolta Electric, and I'll put my details in the chat. Thank you.
Alex, thank you so much. So just also another place to put your details, folks, is the LinkedIn Live post. You'll see that I just fired that in just before Alex fired his information in. And put your contact information out there. Put out, what you want to tell people. It's on LinkedIn Live. It goes pretty wide. And Shane, over to you, sir.
Hey guys, nice to see everybody this morning. Thanks again for the details about sending about emails and stuff. It's so complicated now with all the cyber stuff and security. And my goodness, well, thanks Josh for all those details. I'm Shane Billis. I'm Pro Action Health and Performance. Hey, I just wanted to mention we have a physiotherapist, Neha. She's been working with us since August. She's pretty fabulous. She does a lot of our GLAD, which is hip and knee arthritis program, which is our exercise kind of program that's been researched and done by Denmark and been passed down, and we're all certified in our clinic to do that. But she also does pelvic floor. So a lot of people don't know pelvic floor. You can do pelvic floor from externally or internally. Most females actually do this, but for really good for people that are pregnancy, having low back pain, incontinence, all the different things that some people don't even want to talk about really. But she does a really great job with all of them. We've had great feedback from them. And it's really great for people to come in during those times of, I might be, thinking about, having a baby or not having a baby or afterwards. And I even have a sister-in-law who doesn't jump on trampolines anymore. So it's something that you love to do, guys, and you want to, get back to the activities that you love, especially after pregnancy or back pain that accompanied it or during it. Come see her. She's got some great insight into it, and I can always hook you up to her for her to call you and give you more information about the pelvic floor going forward. And even when we talk to some of the doctors that we know upstairs in our office, they're really excited about it because it's kind of a new thing coming out, and a lot of people don't know about it. So help you go through those pregnancies pain-free or at least more comfortable can be really important, especially for the husbands, though they don't get hit with a stick or anything like that. Anyways, talk to you soon. I'm Dr. Shane Billis. Remember, we get results, so come see us.
I like that. Self-defense by just sending someone off to see Shane. I like that. That works for me.
Refer out.
Josh, over to you, sir.
Hey folks, as said in my intro this morning, I'm Josh Lamb. Sterling Grace Technologies is my company. We're your one-stop shop for all of your IT support and custom software and web needs in Eastern Ontario and really throughout Canada. So the two things that we do, as I said, are building custom software with a bit of website-based back ending for that. So if you need a customer portal that you can have something on the internet where it goes from your website, it's either a part of your website or it goes into a special order management portal or something like that. And then it also has software on the back end that ties into your processes. Maybe it could be interacting with packages and barcode scanning, printers, that kind of stuff, and automation. Sending automated emails when an order is ready to pick up or to be sent, or appointments are created, that kind of stuff. That's what we can help with. On the other side, we have a managed IT service as well. And so what that looks like basically is anything from, I don't know why my computer won't turn on, or I'm having an issue figuring out how to make my spreadsheet do this magical thing in Excel, all the way up to my server won't turn on because there was a fire and it was flooded by the fire suppression systems afterwards. And so we have contingency plans in place for those types of things. And in fact, that's what we specialize in, is disaster recovery and disaster planning. And so if you need to know how to take your tech out of your cost center and turn it into a profit center, if you want your technology to make you money instead of just costing you money, give me a call and let's get started. Josh Lamb, Sterling Grace Tech. Thanks.
Josh, thank you so much. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Anybody you want to recommend me to? Well, Bernie mentioned it earlier. I do dash cameras just like this one here. Install them in your vehicle. Pretty handy when it comes to proof of who's at fault when it comes to an accident. These pretty slippery roads out there, and you hear of all kinds of accidents, and you don't want to end up in court trying to point the finger at somebody when you don't have any evidence. And that's what the dash cameras will do for you. Also do minor repairs, oil changes, brake jobs. And for instance, one thing I don't mention, I do put on body parts of cars. Today I'll be doing a mirror. One of my customers managed to smash their mirror, a side mirror on their vehicle, and I'll be installing a new mirror on that vehicle later today. Things gone on, let's see. BAMS wise, last week, Dave Fellow, our meat guy, came by because another slow leak in his tire. He had a screw in the tire of his car, so I patched his tire up, get him back on his road, on the road. Susan McGarry was here. She had a headlight issue, and I fixed her headlights. But unfortunately, when she left, she ended up with a transmission problem that she had. Wasn't something I did, but she ended up having to have her car towed all the way back home, unfortunately. Let's see, Alex, I continue to advertise for you when I hand out my receipts. Still got a few more left of your placards there. And Tanya Hewitt contacted me early this morning. She thinks she might have a wheel bearing issue on her Camry. I'll be looking at that later this week. So that's it for me, Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle and lots more.
Sam, thank you so much. And it just shows, like, folks, what do you do? Like, both Josh and Sam do different things, and sometimes we don't think about it. So knowing about it. And of course, if you're getting into the solar business, that would be Alex. And speaking about sunshine, Tony, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Bernie. Thank you. Speaking of sunshine, hi, everybody. Tony Jennings from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I look at everything in terms of energy. On February the 10th, coming up, is the Chinese New Year, is the inception of the dragon this year. What that is every 12 years, the zodiac comes to life. There's 12 zodiacs, and this time we're honoring the year of the dragon. Now, what does this mean to you and your business? The dragon is a very assertive, very dominating energy. If you have this in your business in some way, have little dragons around facing the door, it actually brings in money. That's part of the feng shui class that I'll be teaching on March the 30th. It's in my calendar of events. Feng Shui 1 will be done on the 30th, and May the 4th will be Feng Shui 2. But the whole idea is it's also the green wood dragon. So anything you have that's wood, I have a wooden bracelet I got from Hawaii years ago. So what does wood do? In Feng Shui, water and money are the same thing. Anytime you have any kind of water issues, it's money drain. You have any fountains going, it's a water element, it's very good for your business. It brings in money. So what does wood do? Wood attracts and draws in water, like a tree. All right. So, and if you are wearing a necklace and there's wood elements to it, hemp, that kind of thing, plant-based, then it brings in water, which brings in money. So this year will be very powerful for that kind of stuff. Having wood elements around you in your home, as close to your heart as possible. So that's why necklaces are very good. And if you're going to wear a bracelet, wear it on your non-dominant hand. In other words, depends how you're writing a check. If you're writing a check with your right hand, it would go on your left, because left is receiving, right is giving. Okay, so you wear it on your left. Just little tips like that. So hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks. Tony Jennings from Higher Self, where we're here to raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. So my name is Bernie, and what do? I connect businesses, B2B connections, business concierge, or synergy architect. You'll see some other things that I'm involved with. 2 podcasts, one called Knack for Business, and that is about people's business journey. And we have golden nuggets. We share them, and every week there's a new release coming up between Tuesday to Thursday. Always popping something out the oven here. And then there's the Property Wizard podcast. That's about commercial real estate and understanding what's involved in that space. And it doesn't make you a realtor, but it makes you a wiser investor, and which is a lot better than sometimes you get these scams about crypto and stuff. Well, this commercial real or the real estate you're investing in, you can see it. It's tangible. And in fact, Lana probably can go, listen, that's a house. It still is a house, unless, of course, something's bad happened to the house, but it's still a house. And you own that house. And what else to tell you? Let's see. We also have another event coming up, and it's every Monday. It's free to attend. You have guest speakers as part of World Referral Network. So there's the East Tradewind session that happens also that I'm part of. And this one is happening at 3 p.m. today. Again, free to attend. George Moen is the person chairing it. He's one of the founders. So you're kind of getting it straight from the horse's mouth. Referral wise, did a referral to Tony over the weekend. Plus, East Tradewinds had the honor of having Lana, Tony, Tanya, and Carl attend last Tuesday. And so thank you. And it's again, sharing of information and contacts. And now, with that all said, I said Lana's name, didn't I? And you know what? Lana's up. She is presenting today. Lana, over to you, ma'am.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much. Last week was a good week. I had 2 BAMs, one with Kat, and I owe her a video, and the other one was with Matt Littard of AirZone. And we had a good chat about what he's been up to lately. But that's not what we're talking about today, and you don't need to see that. There you go. You need to see that. Oh, yeah, I used to be a geek. But from the beginning, there we go. There. Can you guys see that?
Perfect.
Okay, that's terrific.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. I can talk about real estate all day long. And so I'm going to try and contain everything I have to say. And it's not about me. It's about the State of the Union, let's say. Okay. A little bit about me. I have been licensed since 2000. I have been, well, I guess my first sale was January 2001, but I was licensed November 2000. My favorite people to work with are the families, the Parkers and the Browns. And believe it or not, these are not just avatars. These are real families that I've worked with. And I've got a case study to talk about a little bit later. I have been an award winner ever since I started in this business, 2001. Even last year, yes, thank you, Tony. Even last year, when it was probably the slowest year ever in my career and in real estate. I was blown away when I discovered that. And I have an intuitive ability to know what will work for you. It's not just about the dollars and cents. It's about you, your family, and the energy that you've got, or the energy that you need, and what's going to work for you. So, what is the most asked question that I get? And you can probably think of it off the top of your head right now. And that is, how's the market? I get that daily, if not a couple times a day. And every networking event I get is, how's the market? And my best answer for everybody is, it depends on what perspective you are asking me. Okay. And what I'm thinking for most people, especially if you are a homeowner, is your equity safe? Is the equity that you have built up in your home? Because as we know, investing in residential real estate, I have nothing to do with commercial. Don't ask me about commercial. I'm afraid of commercial. Just saying. Okay. For homeowners, there are 4 conditions which are going to dictate our market, especially in 2024, the year of the dragon, right? And those conditions are, this is a US election year, and that dictates some of the Canadian economy too. We sit there, especially about 3 weeks before the election, even though we're right in the middle of primaries, a change in any government, any change in any government, whether it be Ontario government or federal government and US government, affects our economy. And I am licensed in Ontario only. I don't have anything to do with Quebec, although they're like 5 miles north of me. And oh no, I dated myself. 10 kilometers north of me. And number 2 is the interest rate cuts that we are going to see in 2024 to boost our economy a bit, because we did get a little sluggish in the end of 2023. And we are going to see probably 2 interest rate cuts, which are going to bring us down below 5%. I'm guessing around 4%, maybe 4.25%. I'm not an economist, but I do see that coming. And so that is going to boost buyer demand. And buyer demand, we've got it pent up from last year. We've got a heck of a lot of buyers out there sitting and waiting. And that is going to affect our market, where it's going to be probably at its peak around about June. So if you have any investment properties, or if you're actually thinking of downsizing, probably March, April, May to close in June might be ideal. And finally, the last condition, which is going to affect the Ontario residential real estate market, is the lack of good resale and new builds housing inventory. We are maybe balanced, maybe slightly on the seller side. It's taking a little bit longer to sell houses, but those are the 4 factors which affect our housing market. So is your equity safe? I'm going to continue answering that. Yes, in Ottawa, guaranteed your equity is safe, because we are a very unique market relative to the rest of the country. Because we have the federal government here, we have the military headquarters, we have the RCMP headquarters. We are still known as a high-tech, still known as a high-tech city, Canada especially. We are, go back, a university city. Remember, we don't only have Algonquin College and Algonquin College, Carleton University, and Ottawa U, we have St. Paul's University also. And finally, we have a lot of tourism, and that helps our economy also. What's wrong with my throat chakra? What's going on here? Oh. So, is it a good time to buy? Is another question. You never wait to buy real estate. You always buy real estate and wait. And if you can't afford what you want, then you buy what you can afford and then hold on to it, or sell it and use the equity to buy what you can afford a little bit later. Always, always. And one of the biggest advocates of this is Barbara Corcoran. She's always advocating, get your foot in the market. If your kids don't have their foot in the market, help your kids get their foot in the market. And I'm not saying you have to use me. I'm saying use a good realtor, someone who's got your back and got you protected. Okay. Someone who can recognize a good investment. And, oh, I love this. This is something that I have on my Facebook page. And for all you geeks, I was never really a geek. I was a nerd at one point. Market stats. These are ongoing and continuing market stats. Let me see if this is going to work. Is it going to work? Yes. So this is a change in the average sale price for the Ottawa area. Now, the general Ottawa area. This actually shows, and this is everything, okay? This isn't a typical, what do you call it? 2-story single-family home, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with an attached garage. This includes your single-family homes, your townhouses, your semi-detaches, your mobile homes, and your luxury homes, okay? And we've got right now for everywhere, overall, our average sale price is $629,000, okay? That is including our 5 million luxury homes, as well as our $75,000 mobile homes. Not a good investment, folks. Mobile homes, not a good investment, okay? Just saying. They don't increase in value, and you still have huge monthly fees, usually around $400 to $600 a month. Whereas over here in March 2022, our overall average sale price was $765,000. So it's very interesting to see just the difference that we had at the peak of the pandemic or at the peak of our Ottawa market. That's the highest it's ever been. And we're not at the lowest we've ever been, but it's only going to go up from here, guaranteed. Okay, let's get back to my chart here. And this is basically the chart in a more flat form. If you want to know your specific area and the average sale price for, let's say, Centrepoint, or for Craig Henry, or for Fallingbrook Orleans, I've got that also. We'll have to talk offline for that because there's just way too many areas. Right now, I live between Riverside South and Centrepoint, and the values are very different. I'm in a condo stacked home because I just love condos because everybody does the other work for me. I don't have to worry about that, which I love. Okay, quick case study. These are the Parkers. I loved working with the Parkers. And why? Because they knew what they wanted. They knew what they need to have. They knew what they need done, but they needed a professional to get it done because we have to have a unique strategy. The names have not been changed to protect the innocent here. I sold Nicole's home, which was the daughter, last year because she overextended herself because of pandemic and, you know, all the money that they were giving out. And she moved in with her mom and dad, Janine and Vern, and they were overcrowded. They were on top of each other. And so Janine and Vern decided they need a bigger house for Nicole, her son, and Nicole's dog. So they actually found the bigger house because they started saying one area, and so I started looking in one area, and then they found the house in another area. That's okay. That's okay. But in order to buy this bigger house, they had to sell their smaller end unit townhouse. And how did we do that? Well, using a bit of creativity on my part, we were able to buy their bigger house before selling their townhouse. And we sold their townhouse within 5 days, just from a bit of creativity. And I made sure they were protected. Certain clauses we used, certain legalese. And what we did was I made it fun for everybody. And this is some of the gamifying we were talking about last week at our East Winds Trade, or the World Referral Network. We used races, we used points for cleaning rooms, painting, and decluttering. It was a lot of fun. Okay. Some quick fun facts because I know my time is running out. The most expensive house on the market in Ottawa right now is $7 million. And it's this $7 million. In Toronto, it's well over 10 million. But in Ottawa, it's 7 million. And it's this cute little mansion out here along the Ottawa River on Grand View in East End off of Carling Avenue. Okay. Obviously, it's been on the market for a while, and not everybody has $7 million to spend on a little mansion like this. A mansion is considered 5,000 square feet or more. The average sale price, as I mentioned before, and that's for everything. The single family condo, semi-detached, townhouse, and mobile homes is $629,000. And the average days on market for January is about 40 days on market when you're selling your house. And in May, it's about 13 days on market. So it all depends when and why you're moving. And that's about it. Oh, and before I forget, during the pandemic, when I had a bit of time to myself, I wrote 2 books. One on the complete guide to selling your house, and the other on the complete guide to buying a home. These are relevant to Ontario, and they've even changed since I wrote the books. So that's about it. I know you're all dying to ask questions, but let me get this. Oh, there we go. The sun's out of my eyes now. Oh,
Lana, thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for Lana? Go ahead, Sam.
I have a question. Our son bought a home in Peterborough last summer.
good for
And I
him.
know they had a lot of difficulty in, they want what they wanted versus what they could afford.
Yep.
How are people actually affording homes in the, $700,000 range? these days. I just don't understand how people can, buy these homes, and I don't think their incomes really support the kind of mortgages that are out there. But if you can explain to me how maybe people are being creative and being able to afford these high mortgages on these expensive homes.
Yeah, that's a very good question. What I've seen is people combining incomes. For an example, two couples buying the same home, or two incomes coming together to buy the home. I bought my first house when I was 23 and I had no problem, right? I was in high tech. I had a good salary. I made $23,000 and my first house was about $88,000. But our incomes have not gone up that high, right? Now your first house might be $700,000, but your income is only maybe $80,000 when you're first time home buyer. It might be only $50,000. So what's happening is that people, mom and dad, are helping big time. Okay, I've seen that happen with the Parkers, it happened with the Browns, and it also happened with the VOs, another family. The parents are helping, or they're using RRSPs to help them buy a home, or they're what else have they done? Or two families, and this is what I'm seeing more, are combining together to buy a home. And that's what happened with the Parkers. It's basically the daughter, she's a full-time teacher, and the parents, who are both retired, both came together. And so they bought a split where the parents lived upstairs and the daughter and her son and dog lived downstairs. And that's what I'm seeing. They're also buying condo townhouses. And condos are cheaper. You can get a condo for about $500,000 to $600,000, and you just have to take into account. And newer houses too, the condo fees tend to be cheaper. So it doesn't matter what you can afford. Just get your foot in the market. Did your son actually get something in Peterborough?
Yes, eventually they did. But it's typically, it's fixer-upper kind of house.
Yep.
It's just something
Yes.
that they could afford. And what they did was, a young lady that goes to university there at Trent, she's renting from them. She's renting the basement out.
That's awesome. Yes,
So,
and that's what I did yesterday. I had a couple yesterday who bought a house in, not quite Vanier, but just off the Vanier Parkway. And they created a secondary dwelling unit in the basement to help supplement the income. So if you can show that you have a lease for one of the bedrooms or shared accommodation, then you can get a mortgage too, because most mortgage brokers, I'm not saying banks, mortgage brokers will take that income as part of your mortgage payment. And you need a good mortgage broker too, because they can be they're flexible, way more than banks. I just can't work with banks anymore.
Lana, do you set up the secondary lease? So if someone is either buying a house and they want to rent out a portion of the house, or to split, right? Like a townhome, two halves, or there's another name for it, where two houses are bridged together. They share a common wall. I just can't think of the name of them right now. But
Okay.
You set up, let's say if someone buys a house,
Okay.
and there's a second house attached to it, you help set up the lease too?
As long as the second house is a legal secondary dwelling unit, I can do that. So it has to be legal, and then I can do that. If it's not legal, then everybody's in jeopardy, because everything's done through the.
What do you mean a second home would not be legal if they just built it and they didn't have a permit or anything?
They didn't have a permit. It didn't have proper firewalls, or didn't have.
Oh, wow. You're kidding.
Yeah.
That still happens?
Oh, yeah. The basement, I want extra income. If the basement did not have legal, what do you call it? Exits, egress, legal egress, or separate meters, or however you're doing the utilities. And if it didn't have proper fire doors or fire separation, then I couldn't do it. As long as it was legal and noted as a secondary dwelling unit registered with the city of Ottawa, then I could do it. Otherwise, nope. Do it on your own. but don't tell the city.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And don't tell your bank because the bank won't be happy. You're a lender.
Yeah, don't tell the bank either. They won't be happy. Exactly.
So aside from setting up, like, so I'm buying a house, etc., do you guide them for insurance? Do you guide them for movers? Do you guide them for other, do you have referrals in place for that?
Yeah, because I'm set up with a great networking company called Phoenix. I have connections for HVAC, for electrical, for mortgage brokers, for everything. I am very well connected, to tell you the truth. You know, even if you want to drive your car back into the garage and you need a dash cam because you have horrible neighbors, you know, or if you want to feng shui your new and create good energy for your house, you know, I have a referral for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you hurt your back,
in this group.
pardon me?
We could use a mover in this group.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you hurt your back, I got a referral for that too. Right, Dr. Shane?
He's nodding.
Yeah, he's out of it. That's right. Yeah, I've got referrals for everybody. Handyman too. Handy people, sorry. And painters.
By the way,
Yes,
one
referral for backs. See you soon.
So no, come back, Shane. Don't go away yet, bud. Just one more. Everybody look longingly into the camera because Tony wants to take a smiling photograph. You get it? Did you take the picture, Tony?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, here we go. All right, done.
Perfect. Sorry, Shane. I just thought while you're there, we'd capture you with a smile.
Yeah, it takes hard. I couldn't get you out of my pocket. That's all.
That's not the way to phrase it, Shane. No. I'll skip that phrasing.
Oh, skip that phrasing.
You're slow to retrieve your phone out of the pocket. Yes, that's better.
There you go.
But Anna, one more question for you. I noticed it was in the news about 3 weeks ago. Some people have bought houses at the height of the market. So everything's super hot. And of course, the interest rates went super hot right and there's a tailwind. So some people have houses that, you know, they can't afford the mortgage rate, but all of a sudden the valuation of the house hasn't held. And that was only because it was hyper marked up. In other words, they bought it at a hyper price.
Yeah.
What do you suggest in those instances?
Yeah.
Downsize. You've got to downsize, especially if your mortgage is portable, and I'm hoping to goodness it is. You've got to downsize, or you've got to sell your home, or this is where you bring in extra income. You've got 3 options, and it all depends on how you want to handle it. I have helped people sell their place because they're just in too much. They've gotten themselves in too deep, and we knew this was going to happen, especially for the 2% interest rates that we had. You know, I had a 2.29% interest rate, and I downsized, but I wasn't involved in the frenzy. I knew that was crazy, and I didn't quite understand it, right? You got to buy low and sell high, whether it's stocks, bonds, and real estate. And buying low means buying something that you can afford in the future. You're not putting yourself in craft dinner land right away. And so downsize, more income, or bring in some more income with a renter of some sort. You just got to suck it up. Do you have any other suggestions, Bernie?
Well, you could grow things, but I hear that's not. That may not.
Growth
might have some legal. That might have some legal implications, both for the city and other agencies.
Yeah, but your market has sort of been taken up by the legalizing of it too, right?
Yeah.
So even that, we don't see that anymore as much. Trust me, before it went legal, there was a lot of Ottawa was great for grow ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We
You
were
tell by the roofs, you know.
Pardon me?
You usually tell by how much snow was on the roof.
Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, Actually, I think the one aspect where you can, without having renters, maybe doing dash cams and brakes. I think that's a good way to, in all seriousness, that's one way to do it, right? You're not having a business with bricks and mortar elsewhere. You can do it out of your home if you
That's
have
right.
that option.
That's right. And, I work at home, even though I do have an office I can go to, or a second income or a third income, I remember in the 70s, mom and dad having 3 jobs between the two of them, and there was 4 kids. And, dad was military, and then he worked as a security guard on the weekends, and mom worked when dad wasn't working.
I have a question, Lana.
Absolutely.
Do you deal with many people that are, house prices have obviously come down in recent times.
Mhm.
Do you deal with people that perhaps aren't in touch with reality in terms of their desired selling price, and they're not aware of what their house is actually worth?
Absolutely.
Mansion,
All the
the
time.
mansion.
That mansion is not going to sell for $7 million. No, but we do find it in regular houses too. For an example, there's an apartment for sale that I have co-listed with a friend at 3105 Carling Avenue. That's the Commodore Key, west end of Carling Avenue. And the apartment above it, exact same design, it sold last week for $370,000. Okay, not that much. It's just a typical 1-bedroom apartment with 1.5 baths. So there's an extra bathroom. And ours is the same. Absolutely. And we're listed at 400,000, and the sellers are not coming down.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're only talking $30,000. It's significant in certain ways, but it's unrealistic. And they're both apartments were vacant. Our apartment had a bit of had some hardwood floors, but it's not worth $30,000 worth of hardwood floors.
Mm.
And so they're missing out on offers. We did have an offer we were running over the weekend, and they wouldn't come down. The buyers went up. They went up to where they figured it should be, like 375, 380, but the sellers would not come down. So we're $15,000 apart. And when you're in that price range, that's significant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
When you're in the $7 million price range, $15,000 is not significant, right? That's going to be your heating. That's going to be the installation of your updated furnace. But
50,000 is your taxes.
yeah, is your taxes, exactly. Exactly. Actually, your heating for a $7 million house would be probably 25,000 to install the system. But yeah, I do that. I see that a lot. And I see buyers at the same, thinking they can get more, especially those from Toronto, figuring they can get more bang for their buck here in Ottawa. And they are surprised that they can't get as bang for their buck, because Ottawa is almost at the same level as Toronto when it comes to the regular, houses, like in Barrhaven or Riverside South or Orleans, the newer. They're just not seeing what they thought they could get. Let's just put it that way. Now, over on the Quebec side, Alex, I know the values of the house, you can get a lot bigger bang for your buck too, especially if you're on the water.
Lana, thank you so
That's
much.
worth $7 million.
Yeah.
There we go. Lana, thank you so much. Here's the quote for the day. I am not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions, from Stephen Covey.
Wow.